Hi, welcome back. Bhava Sunday service, Bhava Sunday broadcast. How's everybody doing out there? I hope you're rocking it on this beautiful October Sunday. So let me just kick off by giving a quick introduction of ourselves and who we are and what the heck we're doing here. The Bhava Spiritual Mission is a not-for-profit organization. We are legally structured as a church. We are here to help you connect with the divine, connect with the infinite through the modalities of psychic intuition, channeling, and mediumship. We run a school that helps you hone in on your gifts and find out more clearly what they are and clear out the blocks and do the deeper work and then show up on your platform, taking your message out into the world. So we're super ultra committed to our work and what we do. And that's why we're here today, is to help you, give you the message, help you connect with the divine, and help you move from fear into love and cement in this incredible new paradigm. My name is Ingrid Turner. I'm the founder of the Bhava Spiritual Mission. I run the school, the aforementioned school, and I'm a spiritual channel. I'm here to deliver the message from spirit. So thank you so much for coming in today, for showing up, for being a part of this community, a part of this sacred circle. We are so happy. We are so happy that you're here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take us through, I'm going to ground us in, take us through a real short grounding meditation. I'm going to give you the message from Divine Spirit as I received it for us this week. These messages are evergreen. Okay, so whenever you catch this, whether you're catching us live or you're hitting the replay, you are meant to receive the message at this time. All right. So I'm going to ground us in. I'm going to read the message. I channel from Mons, who is my spirit guide. It's like this awesome being shows up and has a conversation with me. And I dictate exactly what he says to me as accurately as I can. My one job, all of us have one job. It's to move out of the way and bring through Divine Spirit in as authentic and clear a way as possible. So that's what I have done to the best of my ability today. After I read the message from Spirit, I'm going to say a few words about it, talk a little bit about some personal experiences to help cement in and make this sort of practically applicable. And then we're going to bring on our panel. So this is a really exciting part of our broadcast today. You have me sharing the message, talking a little bit, and then I'm going to bring on Chris Blum and Tran, who are two of the Bhava Spiritual Mission leadership team. They are ministers out there sharing the message of Divine Spirit. And we're going to get together and we're going to talk about the message from Spirit. We're going to expand on the message from Spirit. At the Bhava Spiritual Mission, it's not about the individual. It's about the collective. It's about the community. It's about coming together to help us more clearly and completely understand Divine Spirit, creation, what it's all about. None of us have the whole picture because we are individuals. We're here for the individual physical experience. We're not meant to grok the entirety of creation. But if you've watched this before, you've worked with me at all, you've probably heard me use the analogy of a patchwork quilt. We're creating a patchwork quilt. I have a piece, Chris has a piece, Ian has a piece, and you have a piece. And what I want to do is make sure that you have the opportunity to chime in on this conversation as well. So when you hear the message from Spirit, as you're allowing it to integrate into your being and into your body, I want you to feel free to leave a comment. All right, leave your comments, leave your questions. We're going to expand on the message from Spirit, and then we're going to bring you into the conversation so that you can help us expand on the message as well. We'll throw your comments on the screen and we'll talk about it and we'll have that conversation. So please don't hesitate. If you get a hit, if you get a ping, if Spirit gives you something, or if you have a question or you have something to share from your own life, this is the place to do that, to help us expand on the conversation and come into Divine Spirit, into the divine. All right. So that being said, thank you so much for joining us again. I'm just going to get a little bit organized here. There's something I want to throw on the screen. So there's where I'd like you to leave your questions in the comments for us. All right. All right. Let's ground in real quick. So I want you to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel your energy begin to pool in your root chakra. Maybe it'll feel warm or tingly. You'll just be aware that it's happening. Take a deep breath in and pull the energy from your root into your heart. Exhale and hold the energy in your heart. Inhale and pull the energy from your heart into your crown. Exhale and hold the energy in your crown. Inhale and pull the energy out of your body. Feel it connect with divine source energy. And with the out breath, pull that energy back into your body and into your heart. Breathe in and hold the energy in your heart. Breathe out and pull the energy down to your root. Breathe in and hold the energy in your root. Breathe out and push the energy down your legs and into your feet. Breathe in and hold the energy in your feet. Breathe out and push the energy into the earth. Feel that energy hook in with the earth's core and take a deep breath in and pull it back up towards your feet. Exhale. Inhale and feel the energy hit the soles of your feet and move up your legs and pull again in the root chakra and exhale into your root chakra. All right, I'd like to encourage you to go ahead and keep your eyes closed and keep yourself open. We ground into Mother Earth because all of us are opening up to Divine Spirit right now to receive the message from Spirit, to let it sink fully into our being, into our entire body. Don't worry too much about remembering every single thing you hear. Just allow yourself to be open to Spirit and allow the message, however it needs to embed itself in your being. You will be able to recall any particulars you need to at the time you need to, so don't worry about it. We'll go ahead and read our message today. Gratitude for every single lived experience is how you break apart stuck energy and dive into the free flow of all creation. Gratitude is not only about drawing what you need and want to you with more ease, it is wholly about flow. When you dip into the flow of divine expansion, every experience becomes richer and more meaningful. Even your greatest challenges become meaningful beyond simply lessons learned. Most humans' typical practice of gratitude includes appreciation for everything around your challenges. You believe the practice of gratitude brings you more of what you are grateful for, so understandably, your mind shies away from practicing gratitude for difficult experiences too. But if you do dive into the practice of gratitude with your whole heart and give genuine thanks to your own struggles with the intent only to acknowledge and appreciate what is, you're going to understand this fully. That every difficult person, every challenging experience, and each of your own painful emotional responses are serving you entirely. A full and complete gratitude practice for all of life lived will bring you to understanding in your whole being that this universe is only ever supporting you. You will enter the flow and be in sync with the divine all. Yes, the practice of gratitude magnetizes what you want to you, but a full practice brings you so far beyond that. Your individual wants are just a tiny piece. The practice of total gratitude truly brings you to oneness with this moment. And this moment is all of creation. This moment is God. You are a holy being, and synthesizing your holy energy with holy creation all around you brings everything to ecstatic focus, everything to divine fruition, all of you to humble empowerment. Gratitude aligns with your consciousness. Gratitude aligns your consciousness with the divine, and you become energetically indiscernible from it. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Just take just a second or two and let that integrate into your being, integrate into your body. So normally, when I channel the message from Spirit, it's a surprise for me too, because I'm just going about living my life, doing my thing. And then I go, okay, all right, God, what do you got for us? And I sit down and I write about it. This message, however, was with me all week. All week I had been gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. It's just spirit was everywhere and everything, asking me to sink into thank you, thank you, thank you. So when I tuned into the message today, I asked for more clarification, for more about gratitude from the divine. And I got more than I was realizing this week. So this is what I'm calling radical gratitude. All right. It's radical. I mean, it's like crazy amounts of gratitude for crazy things. And it's about, the big differentiation that I was really getting when I was channeling this message is where we tend to be very grateful. We tend to get into our gratitude practice when we're focusing on our gratitude practice, and we're grateful for the good things. We're grateful for things that make me feel good. And when there are challenges in our life, we tend to look for things to be grateful for around what sucks, what's really hard for us right now. And Spirit was really directing me this week and directing us to go dive into being in present gratitude for the hard stuff. And the key difference isn't about being grateful for the good that comes from the bad or the good that is there in spite of the bad, but to be grateful for the bad that is the good. The good is the bad. The concepts of right and wrong and good and bad and dark and light and dark and evil, they're man-made concepts. In truth, when you bring everything into ecstatic presence, it's all divine. It's all divine experience. It can be aligned or not aligned, an energetic match for you and what the divinity that you're exhibiting into the world is you're exuding in the world. But it is all at once simply divine. So diving into gratitude, it breaks apart. Like the image I got was this sort of breaking apart of energy. Like there was this sort of crystallized energy, and gratitude, bringing thank you from the heart to difficult and challenging experiences helps you understand immediately, not just how this is going to work out for you down the line or how this is going to bring better things into your life, but how this challenging experience, gratitude for the challenges, how it helps you understand how it is totally and completely working in your favor, how it is absolutely supporting you. That the depth of that experience is totally supporting you. And it's something you're going to need to practice and try on for size, I think, before we really understand that, before we understand that subtle differentiation with our gratitude practice. So like I said, I've been playing with this all week. I've been feeling into it, and just every prayer has just been about thank you, thank you, thank you. It's almost like a compulsive act for me this week, which has been really cool. So I've been playing with this and playing with gratitude for the challenges in my own life. And I just want to give you a couple of examples of how this played out for me, and see if I can help make more clear what I mean by this differentiation in gratitude practice that I'm talking about here. I had some physical stuff come up this week. My body got really puffy. My joints started to ache. I started my cycle. I was in cramping and painful, and I was just like in a really icky body state. And when things come up like that, when our challenges come up, the first thing we want to do is go, nope. Like, we want to bounce out of that. We want to avoid that. Even in our misery, we're also kind of avoiding what is. So my practice was to go into my physical body and just thank my aching joints, really from my heart. Thank you. I didn't even know why I was thanking them. I just knew I had to thank it. I just knew I had to be grateful for my aching joints, grateful for my puffy body, grateful for the cramping abdomen, grateful for all this very uncomfortable space that I was in. And as I was thanking my bits, thanking my body parts, it almost instantaneously became clear to me what a service my body was doing to me. And not only that, was I able to understand the service my body was giving me by alerting me to what was happening, by communicating with me. Because I was in gratitude, suddenly I saw so clearly exactly what my body needed. And over the next couple of days, I shifted my diet. I just stopped eating certain things, and I started paying attention. I could really hear very specifically what my body needed. And then this morning, after a couple of days of doing this, my partner says to me, wow, you lose weight really fast. You look like you lost weight. It's because the water retention went out of my body. But that was because I going into that place of gratitude for what was, thank you for this pain. Thank you for this discomfort. Boom. It became very clear how that experience right there was serving me, not what around me was serving me, what I could find in spite of the pain, or even gratitude for the fact that I feel better now. But gratitude for the pain itself gave me incredible clarity. The other experience I had, I was real triggered this week with something that happened about a year ago. I had a major betrayal show up from people who were very close to me. And it just knocked me off my socks a year ago. I just leveled me. And it's something that still continues to come up and I continue to do work around. It's the big work that we do. And so this time, what I did is my tact was to go in and go, okay, I am grateful for this pain. I'm grateful for this betrayal. Again, I'm not grateful because it's getting me something better. I'm not grateful for the things that are good for me in spite of it. I am grateful for this betrayal. And in the gratitude for that betrayal, I realized what I saw was freedom. I'd been freed. I'd been totally freed from some ancestral and tribal tethers that had been keeping me out of my highest expression. And I had seen that a little bit, but I hadn't really felt it fully in my body and in my being until I dove into gratitude for the painful experience, for the emotional pain. And that's what I feel like Spirit is really trying to get across today, is this radical practice of gratitude, this total practice of gratitude, how much it changes the flow. It gets you into a flow, and I have been seeing things come up, like things come my way that I want more and more as I've been in this practice of gratitude, but it matters less and less. It's the flow. It's this flow of life that I'm beginning to experience by being totally grateful for the challenges and that practice, and totally grateful for the good stuff too. This isn't about not paying attention to the stuff that feels good, but that's the stuff that's easy to be grateful for. But the truth is, it's easy to be grateful for the challenges too. You just have to bypass your ego and the resistance that comes up that says, I can't be grateful for that. I don't want it. And dive into gratitude anyway, and just see where it takes you. Move into the painful parts of your body and say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Watch how things shift. Watch how your body shifts. Go into your emotional pain. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Watch what comes up. Watch the message and the clarity that comes, and how you dip into that flow and shift into that flow. It's been a really powerful practice. And I want to read the message one more time, and then I'm going to bring on our panel, because they have good things to say about it too. We all have. You do as well. So again, I'm going to ask you, feel free to leave comments for our panel discussion. We're going to bring you on. We're going to bring you into the conversation. Let me read this one more time, and then we'll dive into our panel discussion. Gratitude for every single lived experience is how you break apart stuck energy and dive into the free flow of all creation. Gratitude is not only about drawing what you need and what you want with more ease, it is wholly about flow. When you dip into the flow of divine expansion, every experience becomes richer and more meaningful. Even your greatest challenges become meaningful beyond simply lessons learned. Most humans' typical practice of gratitude includes appreciation for everything around your challenges. You believe the practice of gratitude brings you more of what you are grateful for, so understandably, your mind shies away from practicing gratitude for different experiences too. But if you do dive into the practice of gratitude with your whole heart and give genuine thanks to your own struggles with the intent only to acknowledge and appreciate what is, you're going to understand this fully, that every difficult person, every challenging experience, and each of your own painful emotional responses are serving you entirely. A full and complete gratitude practice for all of life lived will bring you to understanding in your whole being that this universe is only ever supporting you. You will enter the flow and be in sync with the divine all. Yes, the practice of gratitude magnetizes what you want to you, but a full practice brings you so far beyond that. Your individual wants are just a tiny piece. The practice of total gratitude brings you to oneness with this moment, and this moment is all of creation. This moment is God. You are a holy being, and synthesizing your holy energy with holy creation all around you brings everything to ecstatic focus, everything to divine fruition, all of you to humble empowerment. Gratitude aligns your consciousness with the divine, and you become energetically indiscernible from it. Deep breaths. All right, I see some comments coming in. I'm very happy to see this. Let's bring on our panel and let's get the conversation rolling, shall we? Ian and Chris, hi beauties. How are you? Hello, hello. Hey, why don't you take a moment, and I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourself. And you got the message a little ahead of time, so you had a chance to meditate on it and expand on it. And I want to hear your expansion. I want to hear what you have to say about this topic, what comes through you from spirit on this topic. So Ian, let's start with you. Go ahead and introduce yourself and then talk at us about gratitude.
Hi, so I'm Ian. I'm in Minneapolis. I'm with the Bhava Mission, one of the leadership people there. Yeah, I didn't even need to get the message before, but because I got the same message.
Yes, because you can't make this up. That's great.
Yeah, I got the exact same message.
Talk to us.
The other day, and yeah, Spirit just said to just be thankful today. Don't stress out on anything. You did the work. Everything's fine, and just remember, things you're grateful for. So that day I just sat down and wrote down all the things I was grateful for. It was it was just incredible. And the thing with that is, your message was about flow. So everything in nature flows, and nothing is ever still. So, I mean, there might be really slow cycles and there might be really quick cycles, but nothing is ever still. So you have to let it flow, even for yourself. Just think of your breathing. I mean, you can't hold your breath for very long. So it has to flow. You have to keep, your emotions flowing and all of that to let it flow through you. And then when you're feeling stressed or, a lot of this negativity and, just want to get angry and stuff like that, being grateful instantly puts you back into alignment. It's the way. It instantly raises your frequency. Even if you're feeling really crappy, being grateful instantly raises it. And it's really important because there's a lot of stuff out here, like just media conditioning, parents, people around you, and you have to hold that high frequency. Just to keep yourself straight, right?
Right.
So being grateful, just remember, just be grateful, even though things are going, to crap around you. It does do that.
Yeah, it does. It raises your frequency immediately. That's great. And I feel like you bring up something. So, I mean, the world is cray cray. Has been all year, gonna continue for the foreseeable future. Like individually staying in gratitude, and gratitude for the cray cray even is, it's one of the key ways that we shift out of fear and back into love, back into our hearts, and keep this planet moving towards our new earth, moving towards our new paradigm. What I mean by new earth is just for anybody who's not familiar with that, we kind of think, oh, everybody's familiar with that, but I don't think everybody is. But the new earth to me is, I mean, this is golden age. It's like we have a whole new energy that we popped into, which is an energy that is conducive with love and community and unity and support. And it just feels very much like a global community energy to me. That's what I've been feeling. And our job is to help people, to move ourselves and help move others to the best of our ability from fear to love. And Spirit is saying to you, Ian, and saying to all of us, gratitude is one of the most effective and quickest ways to move into that state of love and help bring in this new earth, because this new earth happens from the hearts of every individual. It's not a collective thing, it's an individual movement, and that individual movement creates the collective grounding in of this energy. Yeah. So thank you for that, Ian. Yeah, I love it. You got the same message. You're like, I didn't need your message. Got it direct. That's what we like to do in Bhava. We get it direct. And that happens all the time in our community. We're always like, oh yeah, me too. One thing after another. So that's awesome. Okay, Chris, babe, introduce yourself and then give us your input on this message.
Yeah, hi, I'm Chris Blum. I'm in Eugene, Oregon. I'm also with the Spirited Soul, with just sound baths and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll bring those back to the show soon.
Yes.
And I am also with the ministry, and I've been working with Ingrid since like May of last year, 2019, before things got crazy. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting, as Ian was talking, I realized that I got the exact same message this week. I've been struggling really hard with all the craziness, and I think Wednesday or Thursday, maybe it was Wednesday, or one of the nights, I just went outside, and we've got this great fire pit, and I just sat underneath the stars for about 20 minutes, maybe a half an hour, until it really started to get too cold, and just sat there with myself. And just in that time, like I realized that all I've been letting it get to me, and my ego's been stepping in and making me a very angry, very frustrated person. And the flow had literally stopped. And I'm a very gratitude flowy person. I mean, things just, one door closes, two doors open kind of person. And it just hasn't been happening for me lately. And I've been very frustrated with it. And I realized that it was all my ego. It was all of my ego, and it was all about me and the fact that I was struggling with my kids' homeschooling, not them. And I was taking all of this on and not letting things flow and not being grateful for anything. And I came in, I made myself a cup of tea and went upstairs and started to write in my journal, started to read, and it just clicked. And I woke up the next morning and I felt in alignment again. And, I was grateful for everything that happened. And then I live near the big fires out here, and my dad had to be evacuated, and I drove out there, and I'm probably going to tear up. Anyways, there were signs all along the road, that these beautiful signs that people who've lost their houses made. And it was just, thank you. And all of these people showing gratitude for all these people. And I realized that that's what I've been missing. I've been dealing with my ego story instead of being grateful. And as soon as I let go of that on that night, everything just started to fall into alignment again. And then when I read your message yesterday, I started crying again, because I realized how important that is. And when things are crazy, we fall out of that. And, even finding the gratitude for being locked in the house with my family for so long, and learning how to expand our relationships, and just, teaching them to be grateful for things. So, it just made so much sense to me, and it just seemed like the perfect message for right now.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Okay. Ego stories. We have a comment here that speaks to that I want to pull up here. And I'd like us to dive into that, because that's really profound. Ego is a gratitude killer, man. It's a gratitude killer. And so, our darling Robin, who actually does our music for the Bhava services when we're doing music. We're having to take a break from music and do a music elimination diet, which you alluded to earlier, Chris, because Facebook has been flagging our videos and taking them down, because there's some piece of music that we're using that they think Sony owns, but Sony doesn't own it. And they always give us our video back, but it's been a hassle. So Robin, back to your really amazing question. Thank you for this. How do you get through the stories/trips our mind tells about the challenging situations and peoples in our lives to being grateful for them? What's the power word or mantra? Who wants to take that one?
I'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it too is, once again, it's that ego thing, right? It's, you got to let go of your ego. I was working with someone who was very difficult to work with, but for some reason I wasn't letting go. I wasn't taking care of myself. And so the universe took care of it for me. And I realized that that was teaching me a lesson that I gotta take care of myself first. You know, it's like, I've got to get out of my ego and be grateful for what I've got. And if it's not serving me, it's okay to cut those ties. You know, for the last month, I've been faking it till I make it. I do my meditation every day, but it wasn't helping. Doing my mantras. And it was just taking that moment to be out in nature and under the stars that really kind of brought me back, finding a quiet place. And so I think if you can find your quiet place to kind of go out there and let go and just let the thoughts leave your head, it just all comes back into alignment, which is exactly what happened with me.
Yeah, I like that. Solitude is really important. And solitude can be really challenging. A lot of people don't like solitude. And you know why? Because it brings us into our authentic self. It kills our ego. And most people, many people, a lot of people struggle with that because, you know, alignment, that space of alignment and you facing your authentic self, that's where our power lies. And that can be real scary place. Just a quick aside on that. Let me throw this back up again. Ian, what do you have to say about this? How do you get through the stories, trips our mind tells about the challenging situations and people in our lives to being grateful for them? What's the power word or mantra?
Oh yeah, that's a big one because when you get caught up in the negativity and the, you know, all the stuff around you, you put in a downward spiral. It just keeps getting worse and worse, and there's no, and that's ego, right? So ego is very limited. You only have a very narrow way of seeing things with ego. It's not expansive at all. It doesn't let you see the bigger picture. It doesn't let you expand outside of that. So I think, just stepping back, right? Getting, you know, be by yourself or something. Let everything go. Don't let anything come into your field. And then step back and just say thank you for anything. You know, doesn't matter. Just say thank you for something. And that, you know, that shifts your flow. That shifts everything back towards a higher frequency. And, you know, so ego is just limitations. It doesn't let you see. It doesn't matter. Anything negative out there is gonna put you in that, you know, negative flow. So those are just limitations. So you have to shift yourself out of that. And I guess the word would be just say thank you for something.
Yeah. Just one more time, Robin. I just want to thank you for that, Chris and Ian. You guys rock. So I love how solitude is a big one. It really is. It's really important. But, you know, the thing about our ego too, one of the ways it trips us up is even by being against our ego, like our anti-ego. So I would say, you know, the first thing, if you can't get out of your stories, if you can't get them out of your head, even when you're alone, when you're opening up space for yourself, then go on the attack. Thank you for these ego stories. Thank you for the trips. Thank you for the painful experiences. That's what I couldn't get out of my own way when I was re-triggered with this experience with somebody who was really close to me, and I felt that big betrayal. And that was just last night too, that I was feeling that. I was laying in bed and I couldn't sleep because I was turning the stories in my head, turning the trips, turning the not fair, having imaginary conversations where I was telling him what for and still tripping up over myself. It was just like, and finally I was like, oh yeah, we're doing gratitude this week. And I just started to go into, the first thing I did was I pictured the person in my mind and said, thank you. And I did it through gritted teeth. But eventually, as you say, thank you, and then thank you to my heart. Thank you to my heart hurt. Thank you to this. Thank you. Gradually, I started to feel better and better and better as I soothed my ego by saying thank you, and not soothe it by validating and placating the stories, but just saying thank you. Thank you. Your ego's trying to tell me something. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And that really helped me clear out and get into gratitude for what was underneath the story, which to me was freedom. I felt like I was being freed from a way that I'd been holding myself down, tying myself down to a relationship, to an experience where I was not going to be able to expand into my fullness. And it's going to be different for everybody. What's underneath that, the message for that is going to be different for everybody. That was just my experience. And solitude, best place to do that. Get out of your own way by being alone. Yeah, beautiful. And then let's see, there's another comment here that I really wanted. So Carolyn, I love this. Gratitude is up there with unconditional love. We were just chatting about that, right? It is unconditional love. Yes, totally. It's how we move out of fear and into love. Ian or Chris, do either of you have a comment about this?
I 100% agree. I mean, that's what it is, right? You know, like, and today and yesterday, I was just trying to be grateful for everything that came along and making sure I said it. And, you know, like sitting out, watching the rain, taking pictures of it, and just having gratitude for that, and trying to send that message of love out to everybody, you know, enjoying the stillness of nature and the quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's what it is. The opposite of gratitude, right, is all this conditional stuff. So
yeah. Gratitude is unconditional. Opposite is conditional stuff. I like that a lot. Mm-hmm. Renee's got a kick butt comment. I forgot about this. One of the many things I teach. One of my mantras is something you taught me, Ingrid. It's actually not mine. I'll tell you that in a minute. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'll often picture the person or situation or myself. That is a powerful gratitude mantra. That is called the Ho'oponopono. It's Hawaiian. I don't know the specifics of the history, but the idea is I heal myself to heal the world. I heal myself to heal the world. And that's a powerful practice. Do either of you practice that? The Ho'oponopono?
No, not. I mean, I guess I have my own version of that, but it's not that.
Yeah, you can have your own version of it. But yeah, that's a really good one. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And my understanding, the premise of that is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, yourself. I'm sorry to myself. I forgive myself. Thank you. I love myself. And then out into the world, like to whoever or whatever is showing up that's causing you challenges. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I have another practice that we do, which is 108 I love yous, which is you go into your heart and say, I love you to yourself 108 times. And then you take that raised vibration, you take it out into the world and you just send out the I love you out to the world 108 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. Carolyn has another great comment. I'm learning that all feelings are messengers, especially negative ones. It's our inner satellite navigation telling us to make a change or choice or redirect, accept, or move in the right direction. Pain instructs. Yes. And getting grateful for the pain, for the challenge itself, and nothing outside or around the challenge is how you access those instructions. That's powerful. Thank you, Carolyn. Ian, Chris, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, pain is not easy, right? It's you know, when you have pain in your body or anywhere, or it could be just emotions. You know, it's hard. It's not going to be easy. And again, it limits you. So, you know, I think those times stay in solitude and expand your energy field out, and that gives you, you know, other solutions or other ideas or, you know, things where you can go around and, you know, maybe you could do this and so many other possibilities. Because if you know, just thinking about the pain, yeah, that's very it's hard to get out of, but you just gotta make that switch. It's a tiny switch.
Yeah. Chris?
Yeah, I think this is one for me that I struggle with, you know, and once again, it's back to your ego. It's, you know, when something's really difficult and, you know, what's the thing where if you expect different results doing the same thing, you're never going to get anywhere. And I don't remember exactly what it is, but everybody knows what that is, but it's all your head.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling pain about something, you need to take a step back and go, you know, why am I feeling pain about this? And why am I continuing to take a path that's painful for me? like with a job, like what, usually I get really excited. I get up in the morning, I'm excited. And when I have to drag my butt out of bed and I'm thinking of ways to get out of work, I know that that's time to make a change. Like, and your ego doesn't want to let go of that. And I think that's the hardest thing. Like if you've got a friendship and it's just always painful for you, like your ego doesn't want to give up on that. But you need to take a step back and look and be like, oh my God, I don't deserve this much unhappiness. Like we all deserve love. We do not deserve to be in pain, and especially emotional pain, and especially situations that we can get ourselves from. But our stupid ego is like, no, you have to push through this. You got to you can do this. You can do anything. You could, and sometimes the universe goes, okay, I can't send you another message. This is over. And like that relation, they break up with you, or the job, you get fired, or whatever it is. And so people need to like learn that we got to step out of that ego. And that's our biggest enemy. And that's what causes us so much emotional pain. And which eventually leads to physical pain. There's a famous cancer doctor out there, and he actually would use crystal singing bowls aligned with people depending on where their cancer was, and try and figure out what trauma caused it.
Yeah. It's energy, emotion, physical. That's how spirit said. That's how spirit tells me, and I don't think this is unique. I think this is what spirit says to everybody. It's like it's an energetic, and then it's an emotional, and it's a physical, and then it's a physical manifestation. I love what you said about. I love that trusting like the flow, because we were talking about gratitude getting you into the flow, trusting the flow of your life, trusting the flow of that relationship is over, that job is done, trusting your emotions to tell you kind of what's up, how you feel about a person or situation, what's up, and trusting that. And it's interesting you talk about, like, it is our ego that comes in. My ego story around that is usually not so much, I think what I heard you say was the way that your ego comes up and, gets you is like, I can do it. I'm strong enough. I can do this. Right. Mine usually comes up and tells me a variation of that story. It's something along the lines of, you really should stick this through. You're not a good person if you give this up. You can't be a quitter. You have to be, dependable. All that stuff, right? Same sort of thing, different variation. Talking a little bit more, if we could just go on a little bit of a side road about the ego, I want to dive into the ego a little bit more, because it's coming up a lot in our conversation of gratitude, which I think is appropriate. The ego, I always try and help people understand and help myself understand. I don't see ego as evil or bad or wrong. It's simply our limited human experience. And it's unruly. It will come up and it will sabotage us. It'll take us down, because ultimately what the ego is trying to do is defend us. It's like, it's a big defender. It's keeping up walls, keeping us safe. It's keeping us in a container. And it will do that by any means necessary. We have the gift of expanded spirit heart, where we can bypass our ego. But part of our human journey is to help manage, understand, and love, and ultimately command our ego one way through the practice of gratitude, so that it shows up for us in a healthy way. Like, we can't really get rid of the ego. The ego is just part of the human experience. But it really does take us down when we are unconscious, when we simply believe our stories. 98% of the thoughts in our head are nonsense, utter, total nonsense, which is why you have to drop into your body. So just kind of going down a little side road like that, that's how I understand the ego. And I also see that the ego, I've seen it used as a club, like a weaponized in spiritual circles and spiritual communities. Like, oh, your ego, I don't think that's helpful personally. But I want to talk a little bit, like, Ian, I'd like to hear you chime in on the ego and your spiritual understanding of our ego and how it serves us and how it undermines us. What do you feel?
Well, so I guess my definition has been evolving. The more you learn, you have to keep on learning. Otherwise, you're stuck in a certain place.
Yeah.
I think, as the higher we go in frequency here, we're going to find that your ego is something that you can use to propel yourself, forward, because you know you're going to get fed up at some point. You're going to totally get fed up, with what the heck's all going around, going on around me. You're going to get way fed up, and then you're going to use that to kickstart you, forward. So we're good, and it's a lesson, right? You're going to have to learn to integrate your ego into yourself, so that it doesn't control you anymore, right? And then when it comes up, and you're going to check it and say, oh, that's my ego, and then steer away, and then and that it's also always a learning process. It's always going to be. There's no there's no end goal. It's always a continuing process.
Yeah. Everything is a practice. I love that you brought that up. I think that's really important, because boy, that's one way that our ego can come and club us, is by telling us we're not good enough and not perfect, that we're not doing it right, and so we might as well just give up. Okay, we're done. So yeah, it's always a practice. It's a journey. We're not here to get it. What is it? Abraham Hicks says, "You'll never get it right. You'll never get there. You'll never get there." And I feel like that's really true. What do you have to add, Chris, about the little side ego discussion?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think, my younger self was very ego, and I didn't, it was unhealthy. The ego, I didn't have control over it. Maybe that's the right word, and I was building my career in my 30s and, working in Silicon Valley and trying to deal with all these, in a very challenging work environment. And I finally got to a point where I realized that, my ego is great, but I need to make sure that it's making healthy decisions for me. My drive, the ability I get from it allows me to do things that a lot of people can't do. And so once I started maybe taking care of it, giving it, acknowledging it, but also saying, okay, sometimes you're wrong and we're going to go this way, and really feeling into what made me happy, not pulling back and using it in a more healthy way than I was. I don't know if that makes sense,
Yeah. I feel like, having awareness of our ego is everything, and being able to call ourselves out on our ego. That's a big ego practice that I do, is when I notice my ego ramping up and my little ego stories showing up, I will make myself call myself out on it, because the ego wants to hide. It doesn't want, so I did that recently in our Bhava group. I taught a class last week, I think, and I was having an ego storm day. I was just feeling it, and I felt like it was pretty fair, likely, that I had vomited my ego stuff on some poor Bhava babe, maybe more than one. And I was just reeling afterwards, and my ego wanted to hide and shut it down and just say, no, let's just pretend like that didn't happen. Maybe you're right anyway, or maybe it didn't happen. I didn't even nearly know if it had happened. I just knew that my ego was way close to the surface, my ego stories. So I sent a message to the whole Bhava community, not just the class attendees. So like, okay. And I called myself out. And as soon as I did that, my ego threw one last death throw, and then it calmed down. And then I found myself back in alignment, and I felt grateful for that experience again. But that's a good practice.
I think your message helped me, because I don't think I was realizing I was doing it. And I mean, it's so difficult right now. And my ego was just having a giant ass pity party for me. Oh, sorry, for the last 6 weeks, and it was just like all about me, and and I think that helped me break through. And then just taking that moment of quiet and gratitude to just sit under the stars or stare at a tree or a river, whatever was really just shifted everything.
Yes. Yeah. That's gorgeous. Ladies and gents, we're coming up on our hour pretty soon. And this has been really awesome. Ian and Chris, you two are so beloved to me. I'm so grateful for you coming on and joining in. And I'm so grateful for all of the great comments we got. We haven't been able to get to all of them, but that's just kind of the way it goes. But your comments are acknowledged, and we appreciate you. And thank you so very much for joining in our conversation. I always feel like the comments from our peeps are are really they really help expand me. They help me get a better understanding of the message from Spirit. And a conversation with you always helps me leave with a better understanding of the message from Spirit. It's kind of like I said earlier, we're all needed on this planet because we all get the same message, but it's coming through a different lens. It's coming through the lens of our perception, our experience, even the lens of our ego, and giving us this little side of it. And when we come together and with an open heart, not trying to compete with each other, but just with an open heart and love, we can really understand creation and the message and Spirit in a way that we simply couldn't on our own. We can feel it more. So thank you both so very much for coming on, and thank you for joining us, our listeners, our viewers, joining in this sacred circle, joining in this sacred community. This is what we love to do. Do you guys have any last things you want to chime in on before we wrap up?
I just want to say one last thing about gratitude. It also puts you in a position of empowerment.
Totally.
Yeah, totally. And that's where you want to be. You don't want to be anywhere else. Yeah, just remember to say thank you about something, and that puts you in that position where you are going to change something. You're able to change something. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Chris. Anything?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think tell somebody you're grateful for them today. Find two people and watch how it starts to build, and that's going to make you feel better. That's going to make that person feel better. And then they're going to go and tell people they're grateful for them. Like I told my kids and my husband I was grateful for them today. And my husband was like, where'd that come from? But it was just, so, find something to be grateful for every day, even if it's just one thing,
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. You two are great. I'm going to make some announcements real quick, and then we'll go ahead and close up shop. And I appreciate you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. So
Thank you.
Listening today, thank you all so much for joining in and joining our broadcast and hearing the message from Spirit. Take it in, take it out with you, take it out into the world. This is for you to help you get into alignment with divine spirit, get into alignment with divine love, and take that out into the world. If you've been impacted by this message today, that will ripple out to thousands, because you are naturally going to be impacting everyone who you connect with this week with the message of love, with the spirit of love today. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you found this broadcast valuable and you feel like others would find this valuable as well in your network and community, give this post a share, give us a like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. We are building this community. We are so happy you are here. And whatever we can do to be of service, that's our jam. That is what we are all about. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We do accept donations for our work. It's we show up and we do this every week without fail. We'll be here next week as well. So it'll be me and then 2 other players, but same time, same sort of format, and adding music back in incrementally. So if you found this valuable today and you're able to, feels like something you're able to do, we are a church, and so your donation is tax deductible. So follow that link, bit.ly/donate-bava. You can do a one-time donation, or you can set up a little monthly recurring donation. Every little bit helps, and we are so appreciative. And thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are interested in joining our mission, joining our ministry, exploring membership with us, coming into our school and learning more about your gifts, honing your spiritual gifts, doing the big work to heal, and so that you can bring those gifts out into the world. If you feel called to be of service to Divine Spirit and you're interested in exploring membership, please send me an email, Ingrid@bhavamission.org. I'd love to have a conversation with you and see if this feels like a good fit. Our doors are currently open for new members. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We also have a new program that I'm excited to tell you about. It's our Bhava Sitters program. So what this is, once a week, we do a class around energy healing or intuition development, psychic readings, mediumship, that kind of a thing. And we are opening up so that you can come and join us as a sitter for our students, which means you can receive spiritual services at what I call beauty school rates. Right? So very inexpensive. And you are helping our Bhava students get better at their craft, hone their skills, hone their healing abilities. So please send this page a message. If you're interested in that, find me on Facebook and send a message. And I will tell you how to hook up with that and get on the schedule for that. So that has been really, really, really fun. So once again, next week, same time, same place, different players, come and hear the message from Spirit, join in our panel discussion, leave your comments, join our discussion. This is what we live for. And thank you so very much. I adore you. And I'm so grateful for you. And I'm so grateful for our Bhava babes. So thank you. Thank you. Bye now.